We are live in the Santan Valley. Tom D. Camillo along with Joe Carrero, and this is CAC Live on a Thursday afternoon. And the temperature started to dip, Joe, and then I looked at the weather, and it's going to be 106 again next week.
What, are we coming into summer again?
It looks like it. I guess our pools are staying warm. We're going to be swimming until Thanksgiving at this point. But one thing that we won't need to swim on Friday night, and that's tomorrow night, is up at the Superstition Mountain campus of Central Arizona College. It's been a long planning process, and it's going to be an outstanding event, the grand reopening of the Superstition Mountain campus up in Apache Junction, and we're going to talk about that today. And with us is a very special guest, Julian Easter. He's one of the deans at Central Arizona College, and he's stationed up at the Superstition Mountain campus. And Julian, welcome to CAC Live. We finally got you on.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah.
Welcome.
And Julian, you've been on board, 4 years now?
Got here in 2008.
2008. So
going on my fifth year.
So when you started and you've been up at station, basically, I know a lot of the deans and the administrators, a lot of us, we travel around the district, but your office that you have up at the Superstition Mountain campus is where you spend a lot of your time, and you've seen a transformation firsthand of the old facility and what's happened now. Let's. I kind of want to get your perspective on what you've seen, because you're there every day, and people will come, and you have new people that come onto the campus and they see this new building for the first time. But it's beyond that building. It's the original buildings that were there have been transformed. The culture is changing just because of everything. The environment's changing. Just kind of talk about your personal sort of experiences since you've been here and what's happening now.
Sure. As I said, in getting here in 2008, and at that point, we were in full action mode of trying to get the bond passed. And I guess to give you a perspective, I'll refer back to my kids when they came to visit me. And when they came on to the campus, and I hate to say this, but their first impression, they weren't impressed when they saw the facilities. In fact, I think my oldest daughter called it a dump. And so it made me think of, here I have kids that are college age at this time, and their impression, and I kept thinking, what are the people thinking that actually live there? The high school students were trying to recruit. So I was very happy that the school was in the process of trying to secure funding to improve the site. And now, if you look almost 4 years later, going on 5 years later, the whole impression of the college has changed. In a sense, it really feels like a college campus. And you can see that. I can remember when students would come take classes, and the first thing they would do after class is leave. Now, with the renovations and the new buildings, students are staying, and that's great to see.
There's it's interesting that you said about the students saying, because there's a lot of times there's obviously universities where there's dorms and residence halls and people stay, and there's a real culture. And then there's those colleges that are really commuter students, again, where they come and go. And then there's kind of those where I call, and there's some universities and community colleges where they have the ability, their commuter classes that they hold there, but because of the facilities, they stay. And when you just mentioned that, the other day we walked through the building, and there were students sitting and studying and it shouldn't be surprised that they're studying, but they stayed on campus. I noticed that there's the area, and we'll talk more about the campus, but there's the wash that cuts through the middle of the building, goes underneath the kind of the bridge area, and there's an outdoor area where some seating, and there were a whole group of students just hanging out there, and it really kind of creates a different college atmosphere.
It really does. As I said before, the renovations and the construction, the only place students had to go, especially when it was like June and July, was outside and 100+ degree weather.
Yeah.
So who'd want to stay there? And now we have inside facilities. We have a beautiful student lounge, the commons area, the new building. It just it has that attraction of people wanting to stay. And not only that, because we are so embedded with the community up there. We're seeing community members coming on board and seeing the campus as a focal point to come to. So that's great to see, too.
Julian Easter is joining us here today, and we're talking about, and we're going to cover a range of topics. We're talking about Julian's history, how he arrived in Arizona, the area that he covers. But we're talking to start here about the Superstition Mountain campus. The campus has been open since the beginning of the semester, but the grand reopening is going to take place tomorrow night. It's going to go from 6:30 to 9 o'clock, and there is just a wide range of activities. And the idea when CAC did this was really to showcase the campus, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was to, again, it's one of the 2 openings we're going to be doing, but the one that's happening tomorrow night is really to get the community, to bring them on and really showcase what CAC has to offer there in Apache Junction.
They were going to do a traditional ribbon cutting in November during the board meeting with businesses in the community, and that'll be kind of a formal midday type of an event. But this one, we really wanted to open up the community. Let's talk about some of the events that are going on. First of all, the science rooms. It's really, when you walk into them, it's, if people have kids or anybody wants to take a science class, you just have to come see them, don't you?
You do, and I'm really proud of that. The science labs are just unbelievable. They're first rate. I've worked at a number of colleges and universities, and these science labs are second to none. So that's really good, and the science faculty and staff are really excited.
It's tomorrow night. Now, I'll give you we want to kind of let people know what's going on. The event is free. People can come. We advise you to get there early. At the Signal Peak campus, we did an event called the Astronomy Night at the Peak, and we took elements of that as sort of the core and started planning with that. One of the big things that's going to happen, Katie Wilkins will have Star Lab, and that'll be in the community room. That's an inflatable planetarium, and you can get 20 to 25 people in there, and she will do her program. Many people in the county, especially the southern part of the county, know about Katie's program. So if anybody's interested, especially you have young people, they'll have a great time. Adults can get in. You don't have to get on your knees to crawl inside. You just bend over and get inside, and that'll be in the community room. But there's a partnership going on with Dr. Wayne Pryor is going to have, and he's our resident NASA expert because he does work for NASA in addition to his duties of teaching at CAC as a professor, and he's bringing the Superstition Mountain Astronomical League. So all those gentlemen, we call them the 3 Bills, it's Bill Shaheen and a couple of others, friends named Bill, they're all coming and bringing their telescopes, and then you have STEM programs, middle school students, and there'll be some of that going on in the science rooms, and it's just really going to be a fun evening.
It sure is, and we're really excited about having Dr. Pryor bring the astronomy night up to the Superstition Mountain campus. He's done an excellent job of establishing that as a tradition down the Signal Peak campus. And now, because I want to emphasize, not only have the buildings been renovated, but the landscaping and the aesthetics there, where we like to say we have our own green area where we could do these kind of events. And so Dr. Pryor's been gracious enough to be part of this and to bring that startup. And we hope to make it an event up at Apache Junction also. And
that's why we're encouraging. We've heard a lot of buzz in the community about it. The stories hit the papers yesterday. They were on the front page. I know that a lot of people were talking about it. We typically we've gotten at times between 300 and 400 at times down at Signal Peak, and being that this is really the only campus that CAC has that's in a city. The other ones are sort of out. Say Superstition Mountain is between 2 cities, out in, around farmland, basically around it. Aravaipa is out in the mountains when you talk about the campuses. But Superstition Mountain is unique for the campus right now because you're in the city of Apache Junction, and it's fairly close to Mesa.
You're right. It's right there off Old West Highway, or Idaho Road now.
That's our new address, Idaho Road.
Idaho. And because of its proximity and our relationship with the community, it's really part of the community itself and a very vital component of the growth for Apache Junction. So we make it a big mission to partner with our various community folks up there, and also the various programs that we do offer up there involves the community too. So it's been that way for a while, and it's just getting stronger.
Do you get, Julian, because it's so centrally located in the city, do you get people just wandering on campus just to look?
Oh, we sure do. Some are there wandering to look, interested in college, and some are wandering just out of curiosity, and some wander just to wander. So we attract all kinds.
In the comments about so far in the first few weeks of the semester, and people have been on campus, is there any 1 or 2 or 3 things that you hear a lot of that they really like this, they're really surprised about this? Is there anything, or it's just varied?
Well, it's interesting with the construction and renovation that's been going on. The one comment I've been surprised to hear is, "Oh, this is where you are," and so they heard CAC was there, but for some reason didn't know where we are, or drove by and didn't really recognize it, identify it as a college, campus. So that's been the number one thing I've been hearing when I go out around the community, and now they really have a sense of knowing where we are. And then the other thing is, again, I'll stress the welcoming, the feel, the attraction of being welcome on campus.
The roof is made of copper. And you hear a lot of comments that you can see it from the 60, especially as the sun starts to go down. And it really is a beacon that you can see it. I mean, the roof was designed to last 100 years, I believe, that way when I had my conversations with the contractors and the architects. So, but it really is a unique building.
It is, and you mentioned the roof, and something we have to explain about the roof because, they ask how heavy, how can it be supported? Well, it's not solid copper;
No.
It's copper lined, and so we have to kind of explain to some folks that it is
It's very thin,
very thin,
very thin,
very thin, very light.
But the buildings itself, and I want to go back to what you said about the green, because when I look at it, obviously the building makes a big impact. But one of the places that really has changed the landscape and the culture is that green area, because it does tie. I was some of the people that work in student services. They said that the kids were throwing frisbees and Nerf footballs out on the green. Yeah. Which is there's no residence halls there they live, so obviously they carried that in their car and they found a place between classes to just go out and have a good time.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen students, and now with the weather getting conducive to being outside, students sitting out on blankets, reading books, studying out there, just wanting to be out there. And before that could never happen, because otherwise you'd be laying in a wash or something like that.
If you look at, and the challenges of the old facility, anytime you try to retrofit something that was, and I believe it was an RV, from what we had Jeff Ross on a couple weeks ago, and he said I think it was an RV repair place, and they also sold them, and then I think there was like a dry cleaner maybe in there.
Yes.
And anytime you try to retrofit anything, you do the best you can with it. And CAC did the best they could with it. They had the nice courtyard in the middle, and they changed the buildings, but even the older section that's been renovated now has taken on sort of a new life because of the way you enter. You kind of enter from the backside now instead of off Old West Highway. It gives a different feel.
Sure, and when we were doing our community forums and asking the community what they would like to see on this campus, and one thing that came through is that they wanted the existing buildings to be part of the restructured campus, and so we literally took those areas and gutted them completely and renovated them, and you could if you have been there and seen the old compared to the new, it's unbelievable. But that was very important, and we heard the community, and so not only building our new building, but also renovating existing structures.
I think we have a question, Joe.
We do. Ed Mosley from AJ, please tell me about the events going on for the tomorrow night's
preview. Grand reopening.
Correct.
Well, let's kind of run down a little bit what's going on. We've touched on them. First of all, we will have Jeff Ross's band. Jeff was a professor at CAC, and he's retired. He still does I think he still teaches part-time. Doesn't he do an adjunct, I think?
Yes, he does.
And he does some other things for CAC. But it's called Jana and the Moondogs, and they'll be performing live until sundown, and they may stay on a little bit longer if I can twist his arm. The Superstition Mountain Astronomical League, as the sun goes down, will set up all their telescopes. Dr. Wayne Pryor will set up his telescopes. Those will be out on the green. Then inside the building, there'll be a student services area. We'll have representatives there if you have any questions about coming to CAC. The student leadership, the Phi Theta Kappa, and the honors students will serve as guides throughout the building. They're going to be stationed throughout the building. The library will be open. If you haven't seen the library, it's amazing. We'll talk more about that. In the science rooms, Dr. Wayne Pryor, inside, before he goes outside, will do a series of PowerPoint presentations on Mars, and that will be in the large lecture hall, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that building, because that facility is really unique for up there. It's a nice one. And then all the science rooms will be open. They're going to do some STEM area stuff for students in the one science room. They're going to do anatomy. Jeff Ross is going to be doing anatomy. In another room, they have some pretty nice mechanical, I guess, humans, for lack of a better word.
Mannequins.
Yeah. I always felt like mannequins. When you say that to a science teacher, it's like they're not mannequins; those are in stores.
Sure, right.
In the chemistry room, Diane Beecroft and Bruce Martin will be doing chemistry. And there's going to be another room, and I believe it's Marilyn Edelman is going to do the fluorescence of science, I think is what she's going to be doing, where under, I guess, black light, they're going to show things that glow. And then there will be the massage therapy is going to be open, and Scott Matthew will be doing chair massages. And he'll have, I think, some of his students will be out there. Also, I believe the creative arts area is going to be open with the pottery section, because that's been redone, which is beautiful. There is a place to purchase food on campus now, which is really a change, because I know all the employees and students used to have to go off campus. Now there's a grill. How's that changed life on the campus?
Just supports the old saying, feed them and they will come. In this case, they will stay.
And I think that's a key.
Yeah.
That's a key, that people will stay. Even employees, they can just walk over there and get something to eat.
Right. It doesn't make our neighbors at Quick Trip too happy. I think their stock went down a little bit. But, having the presence of food service on campus, again, has enhanced the environment also.
So there'll be stuff going all night long, and especially if you have kids, adults, anybody, but come. It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night. There's no charge except if you want to purchase some food, but everything is open that evening. Joe, we got another call?
Well, this is what I like to hear. Jean W. from Phoenix, from the Carl Hayden School District, said she learned about the CAC programs from this show. And they're bringing down a group of students tomorrow night, and they want to know, because they want to make sure, ironically talking about food, they want to make sure that students are fed. So will there be food served, offered for sale, vendors? How will that be tomorrow night?
And again, it's Sodexo is our food service company, and it's the grill. I don't know if they have an official name for it. What's really neat about the facility, it's in the original part, but they put in 2 glass garage doors that will open up, and it'll kind of be an open air, and then there's plenty of places to sit, so they can purchase food there that evening. We are going to have cookies and some water stations around for people to have at no charge, but there is for food, and that's great. If they're coming, I'd advise them to get there early. I think they'll have a great time tomorrow night.
These are going to be seniors, she said.
They'll have a great time. This is an all ages event, and they're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and also in our new building, we have, we like to call it our Starbucks type of setup. That's run by Sodexo, where students can get, I feel like, your coffees and
prepackaged stuff,
snacks and stuff like that too. So that'll be open also during the evening.
So let's take a walk through the new building, Julian, and it's probably the most impressive. You walk in the student services area there, which is nice and front and center. Then you go beyond that. You kind of go down sort of a little mini hallway, and now you open up to this expanse, and it's.
Yes, it's a very open concept. In fact, as employees, we're getting used to that. Where, of course, when you're on the right, as you're walking through that corridor, you'll see the faculty offices, and there's a lot of glass, so you can see your favorite faculty and wave to them. And then
it must make Sue Warner nervous, I imagine.
Yeah. Well, she likes to brag. She has the best.
Yeah, I saw the goddess note on her desk.
So we don't want anyone throwing any rocks tomorrow.
No. And then you'll see, as you come to the left, you'll pass the bookstore, which will be, as you said, will be open, and then you'll see a beautiful student commons area, which computer area, which leads into the library area and the tutoring area, and then as you go further along, then you get into the classroom and the lab section.
The area with the library and the computer labs, it's just such an inviting environment to go work. Like a lot of times, I remember when I was back in school and they had computers, we just have to go 3 o'clock in the morning because that was the only time you could get into the lab, and it was in rows in like a classroom. These glass windows, and you look to the sort of, I guess, east or northeast, Superstition Mountain is framed in the window.
in the window.
And it's just, especially when the sun starts to go down, with the sun being in the west and reflecting there, it's an amazing sort of visual component to this building that people probably don't realize unless you get there to see it.
True, and one of the concepts behind the design was, and there's been research done, a lot of natural lighting being allowed to come in, and I really believe it that the more natural light you have, sometimes the more productive not only employees are, but your students can be too. But that delivers a certain ambiance to the atmosphere there too. So it's very inviting.
And with the library will be opening, Audrey Saavedra will be there, and she'll be this new Polaris system that's open, and she'll talk about that, where people from the community will be able to get books from public libraries, have them delivered there, and pick them up or drop them off, and they'll get distributed back to the libraries throughout the district, the public libraries. It's a partnership, so it's really kind of an amazing thing. Joe, I think you got another call.
We have another teacher, Karen from Rhodes Junior High, that called from Mesa, says we'll be attending. Could I have the exact address?
805 South Idaho, and if you're coming from Mesa, and this is easy directions for those that are listening. If you're coming out the 60 from the Phoenix area, so you're heading east, go to Idaho Road, exit, and turn left, and then you'll run right into the campus about 1.5 miles north of the 60. If you're in Mesa and not on the 60, find Broadway. It'll take you right into the campus and head east. You'll drive right into it. That's the simplest way to get there. I always say, you can see the lights on Broadway at CAC.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we plan on having, I think, student help, too, and helping to direct people. And since we know this is going to be a new thing for a lot of people when they're coming to the campus, because a lot are used to entering off of Old West Highway, that we'll be directing them. And we'll probably have some signage up, too, to help with directing people coming in.
And there'll be signage. There'll also be maps given out with what's going on that night, and there'll be signage on each of the locations. There's some programs that have some specific times that will be repeated. Diane Beecroft and Bruce Martin show I think theirs will be repeated, and Wayne Pryor's, I think it's like 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, and then there's some ongoing things. So everybody, you'll get a chance to do a lot that evening. I advise to get there early, and if people want to get there early at 6 o'clock-ish and grab something to eat, the grill will be open, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Is the staff excited about this?
Oh, very excited. Like I said, they've been excited since the semester started, and they've been looking forward to tonight. And so, we're all just anxious to get this going.
It's when you plan an event. We were out at Aravaipa a week ago Tuesday, and we had the event there. And there were, when I went around and counted, Aravaipa there was over 100 people that showed up, and for an area that's a smaller community, that on a weeknight, they had a lot of fun. I saw one family of 9 show up with a bunch of kids, and they all went over to the Star Lab and had a great time. So there's really a lot of buzz about what's going on there, and it's great to see, especially out of the county, people coming to visit, which helps. It's got to help when you're in conversations with, like, from the city of Apache Junction and people in Gold Canyon, that, hey, we're bringing people to come out here. They're going to eat in the restaurants. They're going to patronize the businesses. I mean, I'm sure that was that you hear that a lot in the community, how important this campus, this renovation was to the city.
Oh, really? And like I said, we could not have done this without the support of the community. And so this is going to even aid CAC in its mission of being better partners with the community, because in sharing some of the facilities that both that we can use as CAC employees and also as community members. So, and this is just the beginning. So we'll be having meetings with the community to see how, now that we have this campus, how can we be a better partner.
It's and one of the things that we always thank the city for. Broadway was basically, CAC had land on both sides of Broadway. Yes. And it was basically they gave it to us, and it's been, Broadway the way it was closed, but it's actually sort of rerouted through the campus, because you can still go out the other side off of Winchester. But it really was important to do that because of be able to offer this kind of facility.
True, and the only big difference is that we go a little slower now. Got a little speed hump.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we have students. We don't go tearing through the campus.
That's right. And with the development of the land, because it's important. This is like phase 1 of the what we hope to anticipate a couple phases over the next 10 to 15 years of even expanding the campus even further. So when you come to campus, you're going to see some land that still is
undeveloped at this point.
and
Yeah.
undeveloped, and but we're hoping in the future even to bring a bigger campus or enlarging campus even further up there.
Now, you go through the library and people will do this. There's a bridge, and explain what the bridge is at that campus. And it works. It really works.
Are you referring to by the wash?
Over the wash.
Over the wash.
Yeah.
Yeah, and something I don't quite understand, but we had to maintain that wash for natural.
I think it was a
100-year
flood area.
flood that we could have, and so the bridge and its feature allows, of course, transportation over the wash, and I think the unique thing about it is that it's built out of railroad ties. The architects developed their bridge using old railroad ties, so that's kind of unique in a sense.
The one, the right in front where people drive across.
Yeah. Oh, the one by the yes, that one, and then of course there's one over the wash.
Over the wash too. They used railroad ties
for that.
So it was, and I think, did they use old rail car too?
I heard that
There was a recycled component.
there was a recycled component. I think it was a railroad car.
Now that was the one bridge. Now the other bridge is the glass bridge that connects the two buildings where some of the professors have offices. But it really is the feature. Again, it goes over that wash.
Goes over the wash. It's like the wash goes underneath everything, and also the important part of the wash is it also serves as a place for like the biological science faculty
Really?
to do nature classes out there because of the vegetation, the critters that like to live, the naturalness of it.
So they just go down below right there and actually do field work.
Yes, right there. So and that was a big request by the faculty to maintain that. So it also serves as an educational opportunity.
Oh, that's amazing. That's the building again it's one building, but it almost has a feel of the one side has the computer science, student services, the library, and then you walk across this bridge and there's some areas for students to sit there. There's kind of a mini lounge area for students. There's some faculty offices so the students can meet there. And then you go to the other side and it's all science rooms.
All science rooms and classrooms.
And then you have this big lecture hall that's tiered. And that really gives a different feel to the building because you didn't have access to something like that prior to this building being built.
No, it's interesting feature we do have. Like I said, we never had that type before with the tiered classroom, and it allows faculty flexibility in class presentations, and also we can hold larger class sizes in there, and with the multimedia that we have in there, it just allows an opportunity to do creative things in that type of environment.
We have another call.
And it's ironic. It always happens. I start getting a call, and then 4 or 5 of my other lines ring all at once. So if you guys are calling in and you're getting a busy signal, just keep trying to call in because it's Murphy's Law. When I'm on the line there, everyone calls at once. This was Mark in Phoenix. Wanted to know if you could, if Tom specifically could do a shout out to the employees of Develco Manufacturing in Phoenix. He said, we have several graduates of CAC, and CAC turns out quality, and we love hiring your students. So can you do a shout-out? They have it piped into their entire manufacturing facility.
That's
and
awesome.
They watch this show every week.
Pronounce the name of it again.
At a hard time, I believe it was Develco Manufacturing.
Okay, Develco Manufacturing. Guys, if you're listening out there, and women, if you guys are listening out there, we really appreciate you listening to the show. And one of the things we're always looking for with companies, great to hear that our graduates are doing terrific work. We're always looking for our students that are in school now to kind of be able to do internships or experiential learning, and it's a big thing that our college is moving toward. We do some of that, but I know our president right now really wants to expand that. So any of those companies out there listening that have options for opportunities for internships or experiential learning for our students, and I know that's a big thing in some of the fields you're involved with that you oversee. That's really important to get that kind of learning.
It is really important, yeah, in the area of the health careers. It's a vital component of our programs, and as you said, our president, Dr. Helmich, really wants the college to expand that opportunity in other areas that traditionally maybe not have made it part of the students' learning experience. So that's an endeavor that the college is looking into very seriously.
I think we got another call.
That was, and I didn't even write it down because they just wanted to say they loved the show. It was somebody from Monster, the beverage company.
Oh, okay.
Listened to the show, loved the show, and it was kind of choppy a little bit. So,
well, we appreciate.
So whoever that was, thank you for calling, and we appreciate the comments.
We appreciate you listening. We're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the older portion of the campus that was renovated, and talk about some of the programs that Julian Easter oversees, especially in the health careers area. You're listening to CAC Live on KQCK in the Santan Valley.
Are you ready to start taking control of your future and maximize your earning potential? Central Arizona College has smaller class sizes and personalized attention to help you compete in today's tough job market. CAC now serves Santan Valley and Queen Creek. The CAC Santan Center is located in the shops at Copper Basin on Hunt Highway, behind Barrow's Pizza. Stop in and see how taking classes at CAC costs a fraction of a state university, and your credits can transfer. So, if you want to earn real money, you need to learn real skills at Central Arizona College. Enroll in classes today by calling 480-677-7825 or visit www.centralaz.edu or call 480-677-7825 or visit www.centralaz.edu. Central Arizona College, your way.
Are you experiencing computer problems? Is your computer running slow, bogged down with viruses and spyware? You need a reliable and knowledgeable, trustworthy computer service company. Contact Computers, Networks, and More, located in Santan Valley. Get your computer or laptop running in top condition by a certified technician with 20-plus years experience and beta tester from Microsoft. Computers, Networks, and More provides repairs and solutions to any computer-related issue, whether it's software, installation, troubleshooting, updates, or tune-ups. You can trust Computers, Networks, and More. Contact Jeff Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. to schedule an appointment. We can have you up and running quickly, usually within 48 hours. Located in Santan Valley. Computers, Networks, and More. We're here for you. Contact Jeff at 480-729-8899. That's 480-729-8899.
Our family pets are such a big part of our lives. That's why Kelly's Critter Clips of Queen Creek and Sun Lakes has been providing pet grooming services for over 10 years. Your dog's comfort is very important to us, so we take the time to treat your pet with care, love, and professional attention it deserves. We welcome any size and breed and feature shampoo and conditioning, styling, flea and tick dips, ear cleaning, nail trimming, and so many other services that will leave your pet looking good and smelling good and feeling great, all at an affordable price. Located in Queen Creek and Sun Lakes, call now for an appointment, 480-655-5066. Kelly's Critter Clips. Are you ready to start taking control of your future and maximize your earning potential? Central Arizona College has smaller class sizes and personalized attention to help you compete in today's tough job market. CAC now serves Santan Valley and Queen Creek. The CAC Santan Center is located in the shops at Copper Basin on Hunt Highway, behind Barrow's Pizza. Stop in and see how taking classes at CAC costs a fraction of a state university, and your credits can transfer. So, if you want to earn real money, you need to learn real skills at Central Arizona College. Enroll in classes today by calling 480-677-7825 or visit www.centralaz.edu or call 480-677-7825 or visit www.centralaz.edu. Central Arizona College, your way.
You're listening to CAC Live on KQCK in the Santan Valley, and the phones are blowing up today, Joe. And we're excited that people are excited about coming out, especially the diversity of the area where people are saying they're coming from. If there are schools or people coming in groups and you come in, there's going to be a tent set up as you come into the green area, and that will have some information on where and when things are going on. So we ask you to stop there and pick up. There'll be a flyer there to help guide you around. But we'll ask you to stop there first, get your information, and then you can kind of spread out around the campus. We're going to talk a little bit about the Health Careers Program, some of the things going on. But I want to touch about the original part of the CAC campus at Superstition Mountain that was renovated, and it really has transformed. But what was actually done in the older part? What were some of the things that were renovated?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, in the existing buildings, like I said, areas were totally gutted. I mean, we kept the external structures in place, but really they got in there, and because in the area there were classrooms, there were old science labs. And we had community rooms, and it's just the age of the building. They just needed a lot of repair. And so once that was done, then we had everything from the roofing to the air conditioning to cosmetic work, painting the classrooms, just a lot of general cosmetic surgery, as I like to call it, with my health background. But and with that, then there were offices we converted rooms to classrooms and upgraded the infrastructure, like the technology, and so pretty much that kind of work.
There's only so much you can do when you have a facility and you kind of retrofit it. Then after a few years, you change it, and then you kind of change it on top of it. And there's only so much you can do. And if I recall correctly, the initial plan was that the campus was going to undergo the old part was going to undergo the renovations that were going to take place now and be ready in December. That was way back when the plan. But they sped all that up. And it was a little painful because you guys were displaced, but they really worked hard, the companies, the contractors, architects, to get all that done so that it would be open for the students in one time.
Correct. And the original was to do it in phases. And in discussion, we just wanted it all done at once. And so I got to compliment the employees and staff over the summer, because we were relocated, we were in cramped-in spaces, and it really was a challenge on how to have the renovations done and the building, yet maintain services throughout. So the employees and staff really need to be complimented on what they went through this summer.
It was a good decision, instead of trying, the pain for the short period of time, instead of trying to extend it now over the course of the semester in the fall to do it. But it really is paying dividends on what's kind of transpired.
It is, and by doing it this way, it allowed us, once the fall semester started, to be at full capacity and have things going, instead of having to maybe decrease offerings or not have offerings due to waiting for the construction to be done. So
take a little bit of pain during the summer and then go ahead and get ready for the fall. We got another call.
Francisco R. from Globe says, since you recommend getting there early, what is early, and about what time does the event end?
It goes from 6:30 to 9 o'clock. So if you want to come and get something to eat, I'm suggesting come around 6 o'clock. You can go over to the grill. We'll be setting up. There may be some things that are starting there, but the events will start at 6:30. But we've had people ask if they wanted to get some food. They can patronize anywhere in the community in Apache Junction, or they can come over to the grill and get something to eat. But I would come, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And
Francisco R. and your family, thank you so much. We're looking forward to seeing you out there tomorrow.
Let's. I know one of the big programs. One of the areas. Well, let's go back. Somebody asked the question. There was somebody that called and asked the question. I never thought about it because we always assume we know what it is. What is a dean?
What is a dean?
It's for those that don't know. Maybe people don't. There's a dean. He's on the campus. But
Sure. And a dean, and I'll keep it to the community college setting. Within, let's say, our college, we have different academic departments. And underneath that department will be various divisions. And in particular with mine, I'll have different programs, like the nursing program, x-ray program, etc. As a dean, I serve as the administrator over that umbrella of programs. And then my direct reports are usually the directors of the individual programs. So I guess you could say kind of the lead administrator of an academic department.
so does each dean have a specific title, or are they just called dean? Like, is yours dean of?
Yeah, for example, I'm dean of health, careers, and sciences, which will define the divisions that I oversee. And then we have other academic deans, and their title will reflect
Their areas.
area, yeah.
Their areas. Okay, let's talk about the health careers area. Obviously, that's a one that's constantly growing, and there's always a need in the community. What kind of programs does CAC offer in health careers?
Sure. In the health careers area, we have a broad spectrum of programs that offer associate degrees and certificates. And traditionally, the division is that I have a nursing, and then we have what's called the allied health programs. And if I start naming them, I hate doing that. If I forget one,
Then somebody gets mad.
I'll hear about it. But I would, again, want to get people to our website to be able to see the number of programs. And what's unique with our college, I think, is also in the health division, not only the traditional health programs that we talk about, but also have the dietetic education area, because in nutrition and having good nutrition and good food is also an important part of health. So in that area, we also have the dietetic area and the culinary arts program. And but I can't leave off the sciences, because those courses are the backbone of the health programs. And so also the science division that is also in my area. And of course, those they cover the areas chemistry, biology, astronomy, everybody's favorite physics, geology, and the environmental sciences. So, and students can either take those courses to assist them with degree finishing, like at our college, or for transferability to the 4-year for advanced degrees in the sciences. So, keeps me busy.
Got another call.
We've got Dean Easter's fan club calling in. Sarah and some of her friends are watching, students from CAC, and they said, "We love Dean Easter. He's the best." Simply there.
He's going to start signing autographs.
Right. I'm gonna have to get one before he leaves.
And I think I think Julian also has fans in North Dakota watching. North Dakota, Wisconsin, and Texas, right?
You're naming where my children are. Yeah.
Nice.
And also one in Mesa. And can't forget my wife in Santan Valley. So they said they'll be watching and critiquing after the show.
Okay,
You're doing a fine job, for sure.
Yeah.
we know you're doing a good job. We only have to take one commercial break, so
That's right.
That's
That's
usually
good.
a barometer for it. So, let's talk a little bit about the massage therapy program, and that's one of the ones on the health careers. And it's I guess did it start at the Superstition Mountain campus? I know it's also being offered at Signal Peak. But it's really a popular program, not just for students to participate in, but it's popular with the community because they get massages.
It sure is. People do love the massage program. They love getting massages. And if my memory serves me right, I think it did start at the Signal Peak campus and then spread out. I could have that wrong.
Okay.
But it is. It's at a number of campuses, and it's very popular. And especially with the community and employees, because as you mentioned about making sure students have that internship practice, it's very important that we have people come into the clinic and allow students to manipulate their bodies in all kinds of positions and utilize their techniques. But it is very popular.
And Joe, we had them on last week, and Joe was...
it was fantastic.
Was it?
Oh, yeah. They had me in there in a chair, and Tom was supposed to go on right after me, and I'm like, wait a minute.
he did the whole show from
Oh,
over
yeah,
there.
it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's really nice. They, as you mentioned, Scott Matthew, who oversees that program, he'll know if I'm having a real tense day, because he'll roll the chair in my office and say, "You need."
He was fantastic. I
Yeah.
mean, Scott was a great guy.
Yeah,
It's,
he is.
some of the other programs, Frank Malika does a great job with the radiology program, and with their sonography. That's also, what's the difference between the two of those programs?
Yeah, those are two of our newest associate degree programs. They're all classified on what we call medical images, and the difference is how those images are produced. In radiography or X-ray, they use what we call ionized rays, and in sonography, their image is produced by utilizing sound waves. So, and depending upon what the physician is interested in looking for, will determine which medical imaging procedure to ask. So, yeah.
Is this some of the new advanced technology coming out, like for colon? We just had a colonoscopy doctor on yesterday who was great, Dr. Reddy, and we were hearing about some of the, I don't know if it's sonography or where they don't have to do the the invasive, however you explain that, and they can just do it with what is it called?
A magic wand?
A magic wand. Ultrasound. But an ultrasound. Kind of ultrasound, yeah.
Right. And that's,
It's layman's terms, a magic wand.
yeah, non-invasive, and the newest technique, let's say in X-ray, everybody's used to seeing the film, producing the film. Now they've gone very digital, where, for example, if we had an X-ray, taking it here, we could shoot that X-ray to a doctor's office, up in Phoenix, digital, and they can see. And in sonography, the newest thing is what they call 3D sonography.
Wow.
And
For like MRIs and things like that?
yeah,
Or?
and for example, like our youngest daughter is expecting, they did the first ultrasound and seen it 3D.
Wow,
as
that's
my
cool.
wife said, it made baby look like an alien, if you're not used to looking at it. But that is a new procedure within that area. So,
And CSC has another new program, I guess, is a pharmacy tech.
Pharmacy Tech has been with us for a few years, and again, those are training people who a lot will work the front counter at the pharmacist at the pharmacy there, and under the guidance of a registered pharmacist.
So, and those students can transfer. Like I know several students that transferred like to U of A and completed their 4-year degrees in
Right.
that field.
They can do that, and also what we're working on is having a easier transfer not only from a pharm tech but to a school of pharmacy. So over the next few years, we'll be working very closely with our schools of pharmacy to make it a little easier for our graduates to articulate into a school of pharmacy, which will be very exciting.
You're listening to CAC Live. Tom D. Camillo along with Joe Carrera. We're visiting with Julian Easter, and the dean over the health careers, one of his many areas. And Julian, how did you end up at CAC? Because you're not from Arizona.
No, not from Arizona. My health background, I'm a respiratory therapist by training, and in fact, I did my training out here in Phoenix, and this was back in 1980. And in fact, met my wife, Dawn, out here. She's a Greenway High School graduate.
Oh.
She lived up there in Glendale. And so I was teaching here because I just love to teach. And then moved from here, took my first job at a college, went to Kansas, southeast corner of Kansas, and have taken other jobs going from being faculty to a clinical coordinator to a program director, up and up, and moved around different areas of the country where 20-some years later we relocated from the state of Wisconsin and came out here in 2008. So in a sense, kind of back home from 1981 till now.
And you're a Cleveland Browns fan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, born and raised in Ohio, right outside of Cleveland, and they're on their way back. People out here feel sorry for me, but I hang with them, though,
So were you disappointed when the first Browns moved? Was that a turbulent time?
Yeah, I was in 3-year depression then, but I had faith.
Well,
they came back.
Good. It was the right thing to do.
Yes, it was.
So we had another call.
Yes, we had. When you mentioned pharmacy tech, I saw the phone ring, and it's Mark, who graduated as a pharmacy tech and immediately got a great job at Walgreens, he said. Loves it, and he wants to give you an update He is going to be going back to school to become a pharmacist because he loves it, loves CAC, loves the show because he sees a lot of people that he knows come on as guests.
That's awesome.
All right, you go, Mark. All
Right on.
That's great.
I love to hear the success stories.
I'm curious, where is Mark watching it at home, or is he watching it at Walgreens? Or are they listening to it over the system? That's great. Those are the success stories.
Yeah, that's great.
That we want to hear. We have actually in November we have our fourth Wall of Success induction, and we had over 60 people nominated this year.
Yeah, Mark, you need to put in. Can Mark put in for that himself?
I encourage everybody that's a CAC graduate or has taken X number of credits, if they feel worthy, they can self-nominate.
And he was kind of chatting. I didn't write it all down, but he was saying that he wasn't even sure when he get into the program that he was going to like being in the pharmacy area. He said he's learned that he loves it, and now he's going to become a pharmacist. So it's definitely changed his whole life, and loves what he's doing.
That's great. Hey, Mark, got to come back and see the campus now.
Yeah.
Yes,
tomorrow night
for sure.
Tomorrow night
down
up in Apache Junction. Again, for those that are coming, it's 805 South Idaho Road. If you're coming from the Phoenix area, you're coming from the west, heading east, take the 60, go to Idaho Road, get off the exit, turn left, head north about a mile and a half, and you'll see the entrance to the campus. Julian, we've showed, and I don't know if we have. Where's the camera? I don't know if people can see. That's probably too small. I don't think he's got the big camera, the local camera on. But this big stainless steel logo of CAC, that's impressive. That really marks the entrance to the campus.
Yeah, it's one of those logos you can't miss it, and so when you come tomorrow, everybody's going to see it, and once you see it, you won't forget it.
And you can enter. You can also enter off of Winchester if people are coming from that and come down that way. When you look at a campus like Superstition Mountain Campus and it grows, does the college start planning sort of signature programs, or are there plans in the future that maybe the Superstition Mountain Campus is now more equipped to handle maybe than other locations? How does that all work?
Yeah, Superstition Mountain Campus is probably getting really known for it's the health programs and the sciences. But I think as we begin to expand and build out the campus further, we want to bring more opportunities up there. For example, in the future plans is to have a great fine arts facility. And so because in the Apache Junction area, the fine arts are very important to the community. So we want to expand that offering by having, plays and productions and exhibits and stuff there too. So, as we grow, more opportunities. But I would say right now, we're pretty well known for the health and sciences.
I think we got another call.
The last three calls have been asking directions, and they've come in a little late. So let's one more time recap tomorrow's event, with where it's located and what's kind of going to be happening and whatnot for people that joined the show late. We want to thank you for joining the show. We are here each and every week at this time, 10:30 to 11:30 with CAClive.
Tomorrow night, it's Friday night, at the Superstition Mountain Campus in Apache Junction is the grand reopening of the campus. The theme of the event is called An Evening Under the Stars. It's a component of it is the Astronomy Night at the Peak event that we do down at the Signal Peak campus. The event will get underway at 6:30. It'll run till about 9 o'clock. There will be people get there early. The grill will be open so they can get some food that evening and for purchase, but the events for the evening are free, and it's for families, anybody that wants to come. It's just not families, it's for all ages. Some of the events that are going on, Katie Wilkins and the Star Lab will be in our community room, and that's an inflatable planetarium, and it holds between 20 and 25 people. It's ongoing presentations that last about 25 minutes. Also, the science rooms will be open, and there'll be multiple events going on in the science rooms. There'll be one dedicated to chemistry and biology, some anatomy. There's going to be the fluorescence of science, which is really cool. They're going to do the black light and glow in the dark, funguses, animals, rocks. It's really going to be interesting. STEM students that are especially in those programs in the middle schools, I know some teachers give credit, and some of those programs give credit for coming to those events. They'll be set up. There'll be student leadership. The Phi Theta Kappa students and the honor students will be there to help guide people around. Jan and the Moondogs, which is Jeff Ross's band, will be playing, and they'll start around between 6 and 6:30. That'll be outdoors. The green will be open and filled with telescopes by Dr. Wayne Pryor, and also the Superstition Mountain Astronomical League will be joining us. So there'll be a lot of telescopes around for people to look up into the nighttime sky. Dr. Pryor will be doing a program in the big tiered lecture hall, and it will take place at 3 different times. He'll repeat it, and it'll be on Mars. And then the massage therapy will be open. They'll be doing chair massages with Scott Matthey. The creative arts area where the pottery takes place, and they have a whole new. I went back and saw they have a giant kiln back there. That looks all brand new. Is that all new stuff, or did they move it?
It's all new stuff. The couple kilns are new, but all new stuff and safer environment.
Safer environment. That'll be open. Don Manick will have. We don't want to forget. Don Manick will have the student art. He's setting up the student art gallery. Don does a great job with the students, and he'll have a section open for that. And it's just going to be fun and ongoing. If you're coming from the Phoenix area, you want to take the 60, get off at Idaho Road, and then head north. So you get off and make a left. Go up Idaho Road about a mile and a half, and on the right-hand side, you can't miss the entrance to the campus. You can't miss the building with the giant copper roof. If you're in Mesa or Apache Junction, come up Old West Highway or find Broadway and just take it straight east, and you'll come right into the campus. If you're coming from Globe or that direction, come up the 60, exit off there at, you can exit off at Idaho. You can go through Apache Junction, but you can just take it down to Idaho and get off to the right and go north, and you'll find the campus. It's from the Santan Valley and those areas. Take Ironwood, right on baseline, left on Idaho, and right to the campus. Does that give you enough directions, Joe?
I think that works out pretty well. And to Mary Leanne and Lillianne that are watching right now, ASU broadcasting students, yes, I will be going out there, and love to see you out there. They want to know if I'd be attending. Thank God, I was feeling a little bit low this, going, wow. But yeah,
you are attending. You said
absolutely. I'm going to be there. I would love to meet some of you folks that watch the show, and I know Tom would too. Go up and say hello to famous Tom D. Camillo.
Infamous, maybe.
There you go.
I do want to also let the community know, because we really push community involvement, that because you had asked a while ago what is SMC known for, and I don't want to miss that we have a lifelong learning program, the CALL program, which we offer many opportunities for the community members to come and partake classes of interest. So that is headed by Joe Beck, does an excellent job, and so I really want to push the CALL program too, and they'll be there too to show what the offerings are for the community.
And I just learned about that at one of our executive chamber board meetings for the Santan Valley Regional Chamber. One of our members is doing a artist drawing class now out there, just as a community member. I guess now she's a instructor out there at CAC.
There's a lot of different type of classes. You have the traditional college classes, but then you have these sort of short-term personal interest classes or one-day sort of classes.
That is
a lot of
really
times
cool.
They're non-credit, some of them, a lot of them, and people can come in.
So if you have an idea of a class that you think you'd be good at teaching,
you should suggest it.
What do you do?
What you could do is give the college a call. As mentioned, the director of the program, his name is Joel Beck. That's Beck. Just call, and I don't have his direct number in my head, but just call the college, ask to speak with Joel, and he will pursue that.
And I'm going to work with Tom here and of course Dean Easter and get this on our website CAClive, because that's an important one, I think, to have up there.
I agree. And if people they can call 520-494-5444. That's 520-494-5444, and that's the direct number. And then you can ask for the CALL program. You can ask for lifelong learning, and somebody will be able to help us. If not, you can always get Joe at the station, and he'll pass the information along.
Most definitely.
This hour has flown by, and we are all excited. Again, join us tomorrow night. And Joe, I think you'll have the KQCK van out there, or the car.
I'm going to do my best. If not, I'll be pulled off the side of the road somewhere needing some help.
And come out and say hello and we really are looking forward to the community coming out tomorrow night. Julian, we can't wait to see you tomorrow night, and I think we're even now. I spoke at the Rotary yesterday. You came on the show. I think we've covered everything we could cover the last 2 days. So we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Thanks, and we want to say hello to your family around the country who've been listening. We're great. You can critique him. Joe will put it up on the website. You can go back and look at it many, many times. So for Joe Carrero, for Julian Easter, I'm Tom D. Camillo. We'll talk to you next week on CAC Live on KQCK in Santan Valley.
When you visit Hill Family Dentistry in Santan Valley, dentist Dr. Tim Hill provides each patient with personalized, gentle care that you deserve. Our entire team is dedicated to providing you and your family with services that will make you smile. With a full range of general, cosmetic, and specialty dentistry services that will keep you and your family smiling. Our commitment to our community is to provide outstanding oral health. Hill Family Dentistry is located on 36359 Ganzel Road in Santan Valley, diagonally across from Banner Ironwood Hospital. Evening and weekend appointments available. We accept most insurances and have in-office policies available for non-insured. Contact us today at 480-588-8127. Hill Family Dentistry.